this is Octopotamus comes with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking an early look at the upcoming Transformers Ghostbusters crossover of none other than Ectotron. Now, as I said, this is an early look at the figure, which is due to be released around July of this year and will be a GameStop exclusive here in the United States, an EB Games exclusive in Canada, as well as, I guess, Zing and EB Games in Australia. And as a massive Ghostbusters and Transformer fan, when Hasbro announced this, my mind exploded. As you can see, we have the Ecto-1 as it appeared in the first Ghostbuster movie. And they did a terrific job in terms of creating this vehicle. Even more so when you realize that the design and engineering is actually from a couple figures that we got previously, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. But starting off first with some of his accessories, you can see he comes with Slimer. Now, he is a little translucent sort of bit here. You can see some really nice detail, but you get a little bit lost here in the face area. You can still totally tell that it's him, and while this is an early sample, I don't necessarily think that they're going to add any kind of paint to this guy. He looks absolutely amazing though. He does have the hold here at the bottom where you can put him in a stand. A lot of the images that we've been seeing has him displayed on the stand, but I don't believe he actually comes with one. You're going to have to get one yourself, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it still looks absolutely terrific. Now, he doesn't have any articulation, but he is a squishy fella. And you can see that the hands are very rubbery, so you can kind of move those around, but I love it. I think he looks amazing. They did, again, a great job of recreating how he looks. Now, a couple other accessories that Ectotron comes with are actually integrated to the vehicle mode. For example, you can see on the side here is his neutrino wand. The entire top section here, which is the rack of the Ecto-1, transforms and becomes the backpack, which really is ingenious. But looking at the rest of the car, the detail is amazing. Now, as I said, early sample, so there are some paint blemishes. Like right here, it's a little bit kind of sloppy, but I still have 2 of these pre-ordered, so I'm perfectly okay. You can see absolute gorgeous Cadillac. You got the nice red fins here. I love how they used some kind of metallic paint here. Unfortunately, again, sample, so that little bit right there was broke on mine. But it doesn't really affect things too much, but I just want to point that out. You got some nice clear windows going all the way around. Absolute gorgeous silver paint. Love how that the tires here also have the white walls. You got some nice silver on the rims on the inside. Come around towards the front. Gorgeous light bar. It's translucent blue. Same with the back section. And then you can see that you got these nice extra floodlights, I guess. You can see that the front ones here have some blue paint on them, whereas the back one doesn't. That's a little unfortunate, but you know, whatever. A lot of soft rubber material on here. This entire hose is a soft rubber. It does have to kind of weave through there. You can see a little bit inside there, and then the antenna here on the side, which does attach and then comes down here and attaches to the front. That's also a softer rubber. You can see gorgeous detail in the front, nice silver with that Cadillac logo. You got the nice silver for the front grille. You got Ecto-1. Personal favorite is the Ecto-1 A. So if we ever got that, I would probably even be more excited. Again, you got that gorgeous Ghostbuster logo here, and then on the opposite side, you have the ladder going up. And again, this is a softer material as well. You look at the little top section here, you have the different gadgets and everything up there. It doesn't rotate or anything. I mean, some of it transforms obviously, and we'll take a look at that here in a bit, but just gorgeous. I mean, the recreation of this vehicle is fan freaking tastic. Now, I don't have another Ecto-1 in my collection other than this. This is my Lego version. You can see the pretty different color. I'm hoping that that's just, I don't know, just dirty. But you can see that the Ecto-1 that came out for the Lego set is actually roughly the same size. It is a little bit taller here, and there's a lot more dust on this. But you can see that the overall length is about the exact same. So for me, I may display this with my Lego firehouse. It's just, I think it would probably work. I mean, this is obviously there, but showing a little bit more, here are my Lego Ghostbusters. And I think that the scale here does work pretty decently. So again, if you have that or you wanted to display this guy with something, these little Lego figures seem to work pretty good. I'm quite happy with that sort of scaling. Now, as I said, ECTOTRON here is an extensive retool. It does share design and engineering elements with a couple figures that we got previously. That being Onslaught and Hotspot, which my mind is blown. I mean, we all know how this guy transforms and how they were able to remold so much of this into that. And that is absolutely extraordinary. But you can see size-wise they are about the same. The ECTOTRON is a little bit shorter in terms of the overall length. You can see that hanging out right there. So that's that. Taking a look at the front, you can see he also gets much wider. He also got a face right there. But that just really does just honestly blow my mind. And regardless, if you display this guy as ECTOTRON in his robot mode, the vehicle mode wise here is simply stunning. Now, for his transformation, it's actually really very simple. First, we're going to start off with his proton pack. Go ahead and detach the neutrino wand, put that off to the side, and then detach these little rubber pieces. This one is supposed to go down. I had it in there and then it popped out, so that's a little bit tricky to get in there, but go ahead and pull both of these away. Come around to the front section, pull that away as well, and then you can take this entire rack bit and just kind of wiggle this and pull this out. Oh, sorry, this also latches down, so make sure you detach the little ladder section. But here's the rack that transforms into his proton pack. First, take this, kind of pull this away, rotate that out to the side, and then this whole thing spins around. And then you got a little hole here and a little tab. You can push that in there and lock that into place just like that. This little piece right here, I'm not really certain what to do with it. It resembles some of the hoses that the proton pack had. I'm just going to plug it in up there. It looks perfectly fine like that. Go ahead and take this, which looks absolutely terrific. You got a little small tab right there, and then you can plug that right in the side there, and then bring this around, and this will plug into the top. Give that a nice little push, and now you have the proton pack done, which is great how they were able to do that. Would have been nice if we got some extra paint detail, like some red bits around the little circle sections here, but I still think that looks amazing. Setting that off to the side, and then coming to the ECTOTRON himself. Come around to these side bits. You want to detach these. Just kind of pull this away from the body like that, and these are going to hinge up along the side like that. Come around here to the bottom. You can fold these bits down, and then these legs will extend out. If you are familiar with, like I said, Hotspot or Onslaught, the transformation is going to be very, very similar. So it won't be too strange to do. Go ahead, split these legs. These bits here nicely lock into place, and then you can bring this up, locking that into place further. You had these that were up. Go ahead, fold these down, come around to the back section, and then these fold out and create little heels for them. Angle this, kind of set that right there. You can take this, you can rotate that down. There's no, I wonder if, yeah, there's no real place. Maybe you can tab it in along the side there. I mean, it's a soft rubber, so I guess you could do that if you really wanted, instead of just having it dangle there. It's personal preference. Do whatever you want. Come up to the top section and go ahead and split this. Angle these down. You can rotate these, and then the hands and arms will come down. Fold out the hand like that. So again, on this side, fold that down, rotate that down, bring that, get the hand out, and then this little section here slides down. Not this piece. This piece actually slides down, and then you can rotate this around to the front like so. So again, do that on this side, push that down, rotate that, take this, fold that forward, rotate his head, bring this back, lock this into place. I know a lot of people are going to be asking, does this guy have combiner capabilities? Unfortunately, no. That is not possible on this. They remolded the arms and everything, so there are no combiner ports here. There's nothing in the legs. There's no extra head, so sorry. Then take the proton pack. You got a little tab bit right here that slots inside the middle section of the light bar. Put that right in. Yeah. And when you're done, there you have ECTOTRON in his very cool looking robot mode. And this guy is absolutely terrific. When it was first revealed that he was going to be using the engineering and design of that Hotspot and Onslaught figure, a lot of people, including myself, weren't really sure how that was going to come out. Because those figures have issues. This, though, really is an improvement. As you can see, you can kind of have him hold his little proton wand like so. It's a little bit tricky. You kind of have to force that in there, but you can do that. You can also have him hold it. Well, you just pull that out and then slide that in there. Makes it a little bit easier. But you can also have him holding it in kind of like an unnatural sort of, oh, well, I'm dropping them, sort of way for a Ghostbuster, and that would be like that. I mean, that's weird. I'm not a big fan of that. I like holding it where it's kind of more like that. But you do have that as a display option, which is cool. And you put that right back here. It just tabs in very, very nicely. Overall, great detail on here. His head sculpt is really impressive. Coming in to take a closer look, well, at his crotch. Let me come up a little bit, sorry. Now, one aspect that I wish that they did was, I mean, you can see that his eyes are exposed. So that's just resting a little bit above his eyes. And I do wish there was a little hinge on there. You can move that around and actually play with that. That would have been kind of cool. But the head sculpt looks really nice. You can see that the chest, and in terms of the coloring, kind of resembles that Ghostbuster jumpsuit look. You can see ECTOTRON on a little nameplate right there, and then you got the tan color. Rest of the figure does have a majority of just white plastic, but you got some nice silver, some nice sculpted in detail, a little bit of red right there. Come down to the legs, obviously you got the tan coloring for the thighs. The shins and everything are just like car parts basically there, but you know, nice, some nice silver right there and everything. A little bit loose here. Again, it is a early figure, so hopefully that does get fixed. And the final one, it's not hurting my feelings though. I mean, he stands perfectly fine. So for the comparison, like I said, unfortunately, he doesn't have the combiner aspect, and that doesn't bother me really all that much. Here he is with Hotspot. Now, in terms of looking at the overall reused parts, it kind of only appears like some of the joints, like the elbow joint looks the same, the thighs are the same, like the knee sections look like they're the same. Everything else, though, is completely different. Obviously, the shoulders are different, and that's where the little combiner section would be, and then also the combiner section here on the feet. He doesn't have that anymore. So all that was gutted, which is perfectly fine, because I know a lot of people are like, whoa, that would be cool if we got, you know, all four of the Ghostbusters, and then you could combine it with ECTOTRON and make a giant ghost-busting robot. But what would you use, you know, for Egon and Peter? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would have been cool, but I don't know how they would incorporate it. But the arms are different, the shoulders are different, chest is different, and you can see that looks a whole lot better than that. The legs obviously are different. Just again, an overall much better figure. And I love the fact that tolerances have been fixed. Obviously, we just got hinges here for the thigh, whereas I guess I should have left the other guy out here. It's stand, dude. Come on. That keeps kind of falling down. That's my fault. So now with this guy, because he was a leg, you had to put a ratchet joint in there, which created some problems just in general. They've gotten rid of that. So now you do just have that nice swivel joint right there, and then it hinges it out. It's a little bit softer of a ratchet joint going in and out. The head here, I should start up here, is on a ball joint. You get a little bit of up and down. If you push too far, you'll detach the chest section, so be careful. Rotates. The shoulders here do rotate. They have kind of like a upward butterfly joint, but then you also have the hinge right here, so you can get a nice range of motion there. Does get a little bit cramped here in the back because of some kibble I guess. So I'm just pulling off his proton pack. Put that back on there, Paul. What you doing? There we go. So you do have that. It does rotate at the elbow section right here. Oh, and actually, you got another joint. That's kind of weird. So you got a shoulder here, and then I guess you got an elbow joint there. So extra articulation is never bad. So you got a double jointed elbow, which, you know, that's good for poses. He does have wrists that move in and out. Nothing at the waist. That is all locked into place, unfortunately. But you do have, like I was saying, those hips that move forward, back, in and out. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. You bend here at the knee. Like I said, this one is a little bit loose. I might be able to fix that. But you do have a lot of robot stuff right here. But you can see this one is perfectly fine. This one is a little bit loose. And then I guess you could kind of say that the ankles, you can kind of get him looking like he's walking, maybe, if you fold that up. And that popped off again. So, sorry. But the overall presence of the figure is really very nice. It's a crossover. It's supposed to be in some comics and stuff, which is cool. I like that they're giving some kind of backstory to how the Ecto-1 becomes a Transformer. I dig it. It is a lot of white on it, but I mean, he's a white Cadillac, so I mean, I don't really know, but I do like all the little subtle paint details on there, like you got some nice silver right there and everything. So I think it looks pretty good paint-wise. Articulation looks good. The overall aesthetic of them is cool looking. I like these bits here up on his shoulder. I think that's really cool and dynamic looking of sorts. I guess you could even flare it out a little bit more if you bring this hinge down so you can angle these up some if you wanted to do something like that. I mean, that even kind of looks cool going like that. So really very impressive figure. I'm really happy with it. Now to transform him back, first we're going to come around to the backpack section. I can go ahead and just pull that away, set him off to the side. You can then detach the hose section from the wand itself. You can pull the wand away. You don't have to leave that on there. And then detach that. This whole section will flip around. It tabs in there very securely. So flip that all the way around, and then you do have that bit right there that will plug in to the underside there. Push that, and then lift this up. And this is basically done. We'll play with this and reattach this here in a minute. So set that off to the side. Come around to him. Go ahead, pull the chest bit down. Can rotate that down and put that back up like so. Angle these out thusly. Lift these little panels up and then rotate this around, tuck the hands in, and then you can line all this stuff up here. Bring these two bits together. Those will lock into place. Come around here, lock all this, give that a nice little squeeze, and then these just go up just like that. Come down here to the legs, fold that, tuck that down. Fold that, tuck that down. Keep this kind of right there, and then fold these down. It just makes it a little bit easier to collapse these legs in, and then tab that right there. So again, collapse these. They just accordion down very easily, and then just line all this up, and you can squeeze that together. Tab that right there, locking that into place. What's going on here? Squeeze all that, and then these come up, tuck underneath here, and then fold that up just like so. Get that kind of out of the way, and then you hinge these down, and that will lock in along the side just like that. Now for this, it does get a little bit tricky. You can kind of see, let me pull this away. You can kind of see a little slot on the inside there. You have this piece of the hose that has to lock in right there. So give that a little push, and then that creates basically the necessary length for this back section to come around here. But you do have this bit right here that kind of hangs out. So all you have to do really, keep this locked up, come around here, kind of swoop this down and tuck that in, and then just kind of wiggle all this in here. It does have some locking tabs. You got some little clear round sections right here that lock into those little bits right there. So just kind of fit this in there and shift that forward, push that down just like that. And then these, you kind of just hinge this around and then plug this bit in there. Take this section, you have a longer hose right here, so you want to put the proton wand basically upside down along the side here. Just peg that in there. That will go kind of over the little light bar a little bit. And then this, again, like I said, this little tab one right here is a little bit tricky to get into that. I'm not really sure if you're supposed to go on an angle or what. I had it the very first time. Oh wait, there we go. That's probably gonna pop out though. Yeah, so because then you have to bend this and you have to plug that in there, and I pulled this upper one out as well. So this does get a little bit, oh there we go. Just kind of push that in there. There we go, just like that. Squeeze everything, rotate this around. On the underside of this guy is a little tab that will lock in right up there. So just stretch that up, put that in there. Give that a good squeeze so that stays in there. And that's popping out. There we go. And then take this, and this comes down, plugs into the front. This is the little antenna form. And when you're done, there you have the ECTOTRON back in the Ecto-1 mode. But an absolutely incredible figure. Utilizing what a lot of fans universally think of as a pretty bad mold, that being that Onslaught mold, they repurposed it to create an absolutely extraordinary figure. Not only do they nail the vehicle mode look, they create a very unique character that looks good as well. Transformation does have some similar elements such as the shoulders and then the legs, but again, what they were able to do in terms of re-engineering some things really does shine with this guy. I love the fact that he comes with a little Slimer. I love the fact that they're able to take the equipment rack up here, repurpose it to create the proton pack. One thing that I'm unfortunately not able to mention because I didn't get it is the packaging for this. I'm going to get it eventually, but what I love about it is it's a very G1 inspired looking packaging, which is the reason why I ordered two. One so I could open and one that I can leave inside the package. I absolutely love the way that this turned out. And I know a lot of people are going to be saying, now all we need is a transforming DeLorean, maybe a transforming kit, the A-Team van, or even the General Lee. That would be terrific, but with this, I'm perfectly happy. Now, as I said, the release date for this is supposed to be July 1st. At the different places I mentioned, such as EB Games and GameStop, I do believe pre-orders are still available. So, if you are a Transformer fan, if you're a Ghostbuster fan, this nails it. And I cannot recommend this enough to you guys. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support, guys, simply by hitting that thumbs up button. That one small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. And a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support, now more than ever, help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, grow wise, grow strong, but never grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.